Welcome to this short Energy and Water Reporting and Benchmarking, or EWRB, video by the City of Toronto. Step 3A. Add a property. To assist building owners with reporting, the Ontario Ministry of Energy has created a detailed guide covering all steps in the reporting process, from creating a portfolio manager account to submitting building data to the ministry. To access this guide, in addition to watching this instructional video series, click on the link in the description below this video. When you have collected all of your building data and are ready to begin adding properties to your account, navigate to the My Portfolio tab and click on the Add a Property button. On the Set up a Property screen, select your property type, the number of buildings that make up your property, and the construction status of your property. Then click the Get Started button. This will take you to a screen asking for basic property information, including name, address, and gross floor area. A few tips for filling out this section. Use the postal code on your tax assessment bill when creating your property profile. Your property tax bill postal code is registered by the Ministry of Energy when your EWRB identification number is assigned. Using any other postal code other than what the Ministry of Energy has on file will cause problems later when you submit your report to the Ministry of Energy. It will cause the ministry to email you rejecting your EWRB report. Gross floor area. The gross floor area, or GFA, of a building is the total area of all floors, measured from the outside surface of the building's walls. This area also includes hallways and common areas, atriums, elevator shafts, mechanical equipment areas, and storage rooms. The gross floor area does not include any exterior, unroofed, or open air spaces, such as an outdoor parking area. You should also not include indoor parking areas in the GFA for your building. Occupancy is the percentage of your property's gross floor area that is occupied and operational. The Standard IDs section is where you enter the EWRB ID for the property. Adding an EWRB ID to your property's profile will allow you to report the property's EWRB data to the Ministry of Energy. For information on how to obtain an EWRB ID for your property, return to Step 1 in this video, or go to page 7 of the Ministry of Energy's PDF guide, which is linked to in the description below this video. There are two ways to add an EWRB ID to your property profile. 1. If you have an EWRB ID for the property, you can add it now while you are creating the property profile. 2. If you don't yet have an EWRB ID for the property, you can add it later to an existing property profile. This video will cover how to add the EWRB ID during the property profile setup. For information on how to add an EWRB ID to an existing property profile later, click the link in the description below, titled Enter an EWRB ID for your property. To add your EWRB ID during your property profile setup, scroll down to the Standard IDs section. Use the drop-down menu to select Ontario EWRB ID. In the ID field, enter the unique 6-digit Ontario EWRB ID number for your property. Click the Continue button. You will now be taken to the Set up a Property How is it used page. Here you will be prompted to enter additional details specific to your building type. If you do not have the data to fill in the details listed, check the Use a Default checkbox for now. You can return to the Properties Details tab later to edit this information. Click the Add Property button. You will now see a green bar indicating that you have successfully created a property profile in Portfolio Manager. Note: You can update the building details later by navigating to the Property Profiles Details tab and clicking on the gray arrow to the left of the Building Use heading. This will expand the Building Use section. If your property is a mixed-use building, consult Portfolio Manager's guidelines on adding additional property uses. Find the guidelines in the article titled, "When Should I Create Separate Property Uses?" which is linked to in the description below this video. If you need to add additional property uses, navigate to the Details tab for your property. In the Property Uses and Use Details section, select a property use from the Add Another Type of Use drop-down menu. Click the Add button. You will be taken to the Add Property Use page and asked for specific information about the additional property use, including the gross floor area dedicated to that particular property use. Remember, the total gross floor area for all property uses must add up to the gross floor area you entered when you first created the property profile. The only exception is parking. The area for parking is calculated separately and in addition to the gross floor area of the property. When you have finished filling out the information on the Add Property Use page, scroll to the bottom of the page and click the Save Use button. Whether parking should be added as an additional property use depends on the energy used by the parking structure. If you have a parking structure with lighting or a heated interior, then you should add the parking area as an additional property use. If appropriate, navigate to the Details tab, choose Parking from the Add Another Type of Use drop-down menu, and click the Add button. Fill in the appropriate information on the Add Property Use page, keeping in mind that Portfolio Manager tracks area entered in the parking use section separately from the property gross floor area, so you should not include parking area in the total gross floor area for the overall property. When you have finished entering the parking use information, click the Save Use button. You should see a green banner at the top of your property's profile page confirming that you have successfully added parking use to your property. Thank you for watching the City of Toronto's short EWRB video.